No, every fight, I train the same. I always give it 100%. I always train like if it's a title fight or just a tough fight because I know every opponent is coming to win, and boxing is not a game. So when you get in that ring, you always have to make sure you're 100% ready. I come out, obviously when I fight, I don't go for the knockout. If it comes, it comes. But the first round, just calm, studying my opponent, and obviously I'll be picking up the pace. But I will guarantee that it will be a good fight. I want to. I know there's a part of me that I really haven't shown too much yet, and more that I've learned. And I'm going to showcase that this Saturday.
Fighter's voice, the only voice that matters. You have that fighter on you right now. You have that. Talk about Mexican Independence Day. We can call this Teddy Atlas here in Las Vegas, Nevada. You heard it from the champ himself, simply knocking out the competition. Not Rich Ortiz here with the fighter's voice, the only voice that matters. And like Eddie
Lopez, because Josh Taylor is
the 4th division world champion, Mikey Gar. Good evening, everyone. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz, the fighter's voice, the only voice that matters. And I'm like our guest today, Nathan Rodriguez. We're simply knocking out the competition. He has a big fight, May 25th, Hawaiian Gardens, California. It's going to take place at the Stanley, Saturday, May 25th, C. Robert Lee Activity Center. The address is 21815 Pioneer Boulevard, Hawaiian Gardens, California, is in the main event. He's going to put his undefeated record on the line. Nathan's 13 wins, 0 losses, 8 of those wins coming by way of knockout, taking on his opponent, who's also undefeated, 7-0. He came all the way from Ecuador, and he's following his dream. And Saturday's going to try to bring the steam on my buddy Nathan right here. But we're going to find out exactly what goes on. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our guest, Nathan Rodriguez. Welcome to the Fighter's Voice, Nathan.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Man, how does it feel to be in the main event? And also, you're only 19 years old. The whole world, you have the whole world ahead of you. But how does it feel to be in the main event near your hometown?
Definitely. It's an amazing feeling, especially being local. Hawaiian Gardens is about maybe 20 minutes from where I live. So it's very local, and I know a lot of my supporters are going to come out, and I know it's going to be a great fight. Like you said, my opponent is 7-0. He's from Ecuador. He's coming hungry, and he's coming to win, and I know it's going to be a great fight. And being the main event, it's exciting for me. It makes me what's that word? More encouraged and
Motivate.
and motivates. There you go. Exactly, motivates me and to do my best because I know a lot of people will be watching, especially as me being the main event. So it motivates me to put on a great show.
But you're no stranger to big crowds. This doesn't do anything for you because, you've been on the undercard of Regis Prograis and Cepeda card. And on that fight, you won the WBC, I believe it's Feaker Box world title.
Mm.
And, you've also, and then you defended it on the Canelo card on national TV, pay-per-view. So you're accustomed to big crowds, big events. Does this at all, even though it's close to your home, does it change the way you think? Does it change the way you train, the way you're going to walk down into the ring?
No, every fight, I train the same. I always give it 100%. I always train like if it's a title fight or just a tough fight because I know every opponent is coming to win, and boxing is not a game. So when you get in that ring, you always have to make sure you're 100% ready. And like you said, I fought on the Regis Progress card. That was an amazing experience. And also the Canelo undercard, which at the time when I fought, I believe there was about 25,000 people, and it fit about 50,000 people. But, nothing changes. The work still remains, like the hard work, the discipline, everything. Like I said, every fight is like if it's a title fight.
When you were in the ring, did you at all think about like, man, everybody's watching me worldwide right now. I'm on the mains. It doesn't get any bigger than this for you in your young career. And that's only a step forward on where you want to pursue the rest of your career. But did it go through your mind at all?
No, not really. I was just mainly focused on the fight because I know if you know, boxing is very mental. So if you think about things like that, it'll start to get in your head. You know, so I was just completely in a tunnel vision of the fight, just focused and ready. And I expected, you know, to be a little nervous on that fight because obviously that was the biggest stage of my career fighting. Like you said, on pay-per-view, and there was, like I said, 25,000 people at the time. But you know, no nerves or anything at all. I felt ready, and I was just excited to get in the ring.
I mean, and what I got to ask you this: what was it like working with Eddie Reynoso, being trained by Eddie Reynoso? Not only that, staying with him so he can get to know you, you know, and you guys, you know, stood, I believe, some weeks together, some time together in that camp leading up to that fight. What was that experience like for you?
Definitely. Yeah, yeah, I mean, it's an amazing experience, you know, especially training. You know, I always trained at the same time that Canelo would train, so I would be able to watch him and, you know, see how he trains and see the things that he works on. And, you know, just to be around those type of people, especially Canelo, who's, you know, a pound for pound fighter, you know, I would say the greatest of today. And, you know, just to be able to learn off them and me only being 19 years old, you know, I have, you know, God willing, a bright future ahead of me, a long time to go in this sport. And I'm just trying to be like a sponge and just soak everything in that I can.
What did you grab from that? I mean, did you speak to him? Did he show you anything, or is this something that he did that just kind of you adopted in your own style? There had to be something because I believe iron sharpens iron, you know, and you do want to surround yourself with people that are successful or people that have achieved so much in the sport of boxing. There had to be something that you took away from that experience and made it yours.
Definitely. I mean, they've, you know, I've learned a lot, you know, being with them. I see how hard he works, and mostly with them, you know, their power punches. So one thing I learned for sure from them is, you know, setting up those power punches to get those knockouts. You know, just like Canelo does, and there was a lot more other stuff that I learned. But I see the discipline that he has and that they teach, and obviously that's the reason why Canelo is where he's at today.
Exactly. I'm hearing something about you having this nickname, man, and I want to know what's your nickname? What does it mean? And how did you come up with the nickname that you're about to let the whole world know about?
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, my nickname in boxing is El Morenito, and I have an older brother. He boxes as well. His name is El Moreno, and he got that name because of my grandpa. That's what they used to call him in Mexico, and my brother took my grandpa's name after he passed away. And me being, you know, the younger brother, I ended up putting ITO at the end, which, you know, kind of signifies like being the younger
Yeah.
one. So that's how I got my nickname.
Well, that's a beautiful story, man. Tell us a little bit about
Thank you.
your grandfather and what he meant to you, and how he encourages you when you're training. You know, thinking about him and in the motivation.
Definitely. So my grandpa, you know, he lives in Mexico, or, you know, he did. Unfortunately, he passed away. Um, but he was always big supporters of me and my brother, and he always wanted to watch us fight. Um, Unfortunately, he wasn't able to. Uh, but you know, we're carrying his name on our shoulders and just trying to make him proud. So, you know, my grandpa, he was an awesome man, and he's a big a big reason that I push hard today too, definitely for sure.
No, that like I said, that's a beautiful story, man, and I believe he is watching you. You know, just like my son's
Definitely,
watching this
thank you.
podcast in
Yeah,
heaven right now. Um,
definitely.
there's a lot of news going on, a lot of news in the sport of boxing. I want to get your take of it on some of the news, and I also want to stay focused on your fight you got coming up Saturday. But we're gonna move around a little bit. Of course, the
Okay.
hottest news right now, the hottest name in boxing right now, whether it's being the face of boxing or just being in the middle of controversy right now, is Ryan Garcia. First of all, what did you think about the fight in the victory over Devin Haney and the aftermath? And now today he was cleared and then he was not cleared. And then now he wants to take a
Mhm.
sample of his hair. What do you think about this whole sport of boxing that surrounds right now Ryan Garcia?
Definitely, yeah. Speaking about the fight, you know, it was a great fight. You know, respect to both men that got in the ring. You know, it's not easy
No.
getting up in that ring. So anybody that goes up, you know, I respect them. But overall, it was a great fight. Ryan showcased his power, his speed, his accuracy, which I love about him. He has that good timing and that power. And Devin Haney, he just had that heart. He kept getting up, and he was he fought to the end. So it was a good fight, in my opinion. As far as all the things that are going on right now, um, I I don't have much to say about it. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, so I can't really speak about something that I don't know too much about. But I mean, eventually, the truth will be revealed. Either it'll come out sooner or later if it was true or if it was not, whatever he was taking. So it just with time, everything will definitely come out. So um, yeah, it was a good fight overall, though. So that's definitely the fans won that fight for sure. But yeah, it was a great fight.
Well, Nathan, it has to be entertaining. It's good for social
Definitely,
media.
yeah.
It's good for views and followers, and love them or hate them or not. People are talking about them.
hmm Exactly. I mean, even the build up to the fight. A lot of people were thinking, Ryan was going crazy and this and that, and people were actually talking bad about Ryan Garcia. And after the fight, when he beat him up and he had knocked him out, everybody was starting to like Ryan Garcia and be on his side. So it was crazy. He tricked the people into thinking, he was going crazy, and in the fight, he looked calm, he looked ready, and he gave a great fight
You know, um, you got a press conference coming up. I believe it's tomorrow. I believe it starts at 11,
tomorrow.
weigh-ins at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
when it's your time, I mean, and when you're at the press conference, do you ever feel the need to let loose or be flamboyant, or you just focused, or do you ever showcase any of your exactly what you are? Do you let the people know, okay, this is a little bit of me? Do you display exactly who you are, or you just, tunnel vision?
Tunnel vision, yeah, I don't like to do too much talking. Um, I'll talk about how my camp went or how I'm feeling. But I like to do all my talking in the ring. I always love to be humble and, just be, outside of the ring, there's nothing but respect. It's business, but in the ring, it's war. So you gotta, let your hands go.
Why the sport of boxing? I mean, you look very athletic. I've watched you. I was looking at some of your fights. You could have played anything in sports wise: football, basketball, baseball. You got very
Definitely.
good hand speed. Why the sport of boxing?
It was funny actually. I grew up playing baseball. I played baseball like most of my life actually. And it was about, I believe, me going into high school or eighth grade. Around there is where I decided to try out boxing. I wanted to try it out to, learn how to fight and just do it. I always loved to play new sports. I played basketball. I played, football, baseball. So I never pictured myself, going pro or staying in the sport. I just did it to try it out. And I want to say maybe after the second week they had put me to spar, and just after that I just fell in love with the feeling of being in that ring. It's fun, and I just kept trying it and going, and I did a couple amateur fights, and I just took off from there.
Did it come natural to you, or is this coming from hard work?
I mean, I could say, like it's both because I'm very athletic, in any sport. I've always played. Coaches have always told me like, oh, like you're really good or this and that. And in boxing, in the first day actually, I was doing mitts, and the coach had told me, he's like, man, like you really have like some good technique, especially for not doing boxing at all. Like you're athletic, and like I said, I just kept doing it, and I kept learning, and here I am today.
Yeah, here you are today. Now, did your brother follow your footsteps, or you followed or was your brother already involved in boxing?
Yes, my older brother was involved in
Okay.
boxing first. So he was the reason why I did get into boxing. He started first. I think he already been in boxing maybe for about a year or two.
Yeah.
Um, and then there was a gym in South Amani. That was my first gym, and that's where I went in and I tried it out and stuff, and that's where I started.
Good looking kid. You actually look like, I'm going to say it right now, and I don't know if anybody's ever told you this. You look like a young Teofimo Lopez.
I get a lot of different names. I used to have long hair. I cut it. It's going back, but
Okay.
I used to get people calling me Mario Barrios or Emiliano Vargas. So I get a lot of names like that.
Hey, well,
Yeah.
you're in the scene now, and right now, after this Saturday, you're making your own name. I mean, you're going to put in the hard work, and at the end of the day, you're working hard to get that hand raised, no matter how it comes. If it comes by knockout decision or whatever, um,
Mhm.
it sounds like you got that determination, you got that DNA, and you definitely got that drive. So let me ask you this: once that first bell rings, what can we expect?
I come out. Obviously when I fight. I don't go for the knockout. If it comes, it comes. But the first round, just calm, studying my opponent. And, obviously I'll be picking up the pace. But I will guarantee that it will be a good fight. I want to, I know there's a part of me that I really haven't shown too much yet and more that I've learned. And I'm going to showcase that this Saturday for sure.
Well, I know one thing because I've watched a little bit about him, after the poster, and he's an inside fighter. He's definitely going to try to get inside. I can see
Definitely.
that. I know
Yeah.
your camp's already prepared for it. I know you guys got a game plan. And when do you know to change the game plan? When we know, okay, this isn't working, is it you a good listener? Are you coachable from the trainers, or you kind of adapt yourself as you're going along?
Definitely, first I always listen to my coach. That's the main thing because they see things from the outside that sometimes we as fighters don't see. So
There you go.
definitely the first thing I would do is I would listen to my coach, and if I see maybe these giving me instructions that I see are still not working, I would adapt myself and see what's best for me as me being in the ring. I would have to adapt but definitely I would listen to my coach first.
So how big of a deal is it tomorrow once you see your opponent face to face? I mean, does that do something for you? Do you look forward to that, or you just look forward to, hey, let's get on the scale, let's make weight, and let's put some protein back in me and carbohydrate.
Yeah, exactly. I think before the fight, every fighter's main main worry is not the worry, but their first thing is to get hydrated, to feel
Yeah.
good, and to get in that mood ready for the fight. But no, like I said, it's just when I see my opponent, it's all business. It's a sport. No bad blood. No nothing. No problem. So it's business. But once I'm in that ring, it's a war. Every man for himself. So.
Let me ask you this: what fighter today motivates you today, and what fighter in a dream match would you just love to share the ring with?
Um, I like a lot of different fighters. I always learn a lot of different stuff because obviously people have different
Yeah.
styles and but I would definitely say maybe the top one, number one for sure is Canelo. He's achieved a lot. He has a lot of experience, and he's number one today for a reason. And but there's also many other fighters that I do love to watch and also learn from. Um, you know, it's and a dream match. I would say, hmm, I mean, honestly, whoever has a belt, in my weight class, it would be a dream fight, obviously, because to be a world champion is a dream alone, So I would say whoever is a champion in my weight class, any of those fighters would be a dream fight for sure.
I mean, don't you wish you could have went some rounds with Julio Cesar Chavez or Tommy Hearns or Mayweather or even Tyson Fury? It doesn't matter. Weight doesn't matter. I would just see who you would love to share the ring with and let those hands go.
Okay.
But right now,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's whoever has the belt in your division. I respect that.
exactly. Yeah. So you were saying like any weight class, it
Yes,
doesn't
yes.
matter,
Just
right?
just
Okay.
like saying like because they're legends or they're such a great opponent. I always say to myself, man, I would love to commentate with Larry Merchant. I would love to
Yeah, yeah.
commentate with Ray Flores. I say that to
Hmm.
myself. So, who would you like to share the ring with?
I would say it would be a tough fight, but definitely a fight, I would say was maybe, like Manny Pacquiao
There you go.
or, you know, Mayweather. He's very technical, very smart, but, those fights is where you would learn. So I
Yeah.
would, obviously love to do a fight like that, one of those as well.
So, what do you think of? What's your opinion on the whole Jake Paul and Mike Tyson? The rules have already been released. I believe it's a 12-ounce gloves, no headgear, 8 rounds, both 2-minute rounds. Which and I'm hearing it's going to be sanctioned as well.
Yeah, I believe I heard it. It was a pro fight. Um, it's cool. The 12-ounce gloves for, obviously Mike, he's not the same. He's older now, which is, I would say, is a little bit, better for Mike, but also as well for Jake Paul because, Mike Tyson, even though he's older, he still has that dog in him. So he's still a powerful puncher. So it's a little bit safer, for both of them. And it'll be a cool fight. We'll see who wins that fight for
I
sure.
mean, we're coming off. I don't want to say the word upset, but a big victory for Usyk. Giving Tyson Fury his first loss. A lot of people thought Tyson Fury should have won, or it could have been a draw. I saw some rounds, and I think the man who was awarded the fight. Well, I mean, his hand was raised, deserved the fight. And I'll give you my take
Hmm.
on the knockdown in the ninth round. So, what did you think about the whole event itself?
It was a nice event. All the fights were good. Everything was good. The fights. Yeah, I had Usyk. Even since the beginning. I love his style. He's like a Lomachenko of the heavyweights, I
Yeah,
would say.
exactly.
He's very very slick, fast. Um, and I believe that, and it was giving Tyson Fury problems. His slickness, his movement, and during like the middle of the fight, he was doing good, but I was thinking maybe a problem for Usyk would be that Tyson Fury, he is a big man, and I seen he was trying to put his weight on
Yes,
him
I
and,
saw.
and trying to get him tired, use that to his advantage. But Usyk, he stuck through like a champion, and he finished strong. Definitely, that was a great fight.
There was two events that were happening in the fight. Usyk was touching him early in the rounds, to the chest, to the hips, just touching him, not really exactly loading up, but making him respect him. And then Tyson Fury, he started to pull away, started to use his jab, was very effective. The uppercut, he found a home, and those body shots. Usyk for two and a half rounds didn't have an answer for any of that. And I'm thinking, here he
Hmm.
goes, is going to turn around, or now he's starting to pull away. But in that ninth round, he threw that combination and he hurt Tyson Fury. It wasn't okay. He
Hmm.
got rocked. He was definitely hurt, out on his feet. And in
Hmm.
boxing, the referee never told Tyson Fury, don't use the ropes. Hold up. You can't be holding onto the ropes. Never gave him a warning
Hmm.
to do that. A lot of times when Tyson Fury was jabbing, he had an open glove to try to hold his glove and remove it. Instead of the closed glove. Didn't get a warning.
Yeah,
The knockdown. I mean, the ref could have stepped in there and stopped it,
definitely.
or he could
Yeah.
have allowed a heavyweight championship fight, allowed Usyk to get his clean, clear knockout. And the bad thing is Nathan, it would have been an ugly knockout. It would have, because he was
Yeah,
out on his feet.
definitely. He was hurt. Yeah, I was surprised actually. Because when I seen he was stumbling and he was falling all across the ring, I was surprised that they didn't stop it because he was really hurt. And I seen he got held up by the ropes, and I believe they gave him a standing 8 count. And I'm not sure if there was supposed to be like any standing 8 count. So I was surprised like they didn't, like you said, let him finish it off, or So I definitely feel like the ref kind of helped him out right there, and he got saved by the bell after.
Well, here's the thing. If you go to the ropes, it's supposed to be ruled a knockdown. He went to the ropes several times. He could have jumped in the first time he went to the ropes. I mean, now he's coming in because he already knew he was gone. He was one punch away. Usyk kind of held up, if you notice, thinking the referee was calling it, like awarding him the knockout.
Yeah.
I say all this, Nathan, and then I'm gonna tell you this: I am a Tyson Fury fan, but I do call it the way I
Hmm.
see it.
Definitely. Yeah. No, Tyson Fury, he's a great fighter. For his height, and being a heavyweight, he has good movement. He's
Yes,
fast.
very elusive.
I like his little slickness that he has going on. And like you said in the fight, when he started using his jab, when he was finding his distance, he was doing good. That's when he was giving Usyk problems, and Usyk, especially with the body shots too. Like you said, he didn't have an answer, and I feel like if Tyson Fury would have stayed with that plan the rest of the fight, he maybe could have put it off if he didn't get hurt as well. Um, but the thing of too that he did in the fight was he was showboating, and the fight was kind of close. So like him wasting time doing that, it kind of like it gave Usyk all that time to catch up and take that lead, and he ended up getting hurt. So
Okay, I agree with you. Okay, but I will say this. Do you remember that MMA fighter Spider Silva? Anderson Silva. Okay. He would have antics like that as well. But when he would do that, he would get in his rhythm. He would get in his rhythm. But
definitely, yeah,
eventually
yeah.
it caught up to him because the fighter wasn't putting up with the antics and caught, Spider Silva, Anderson Silva.
Mhm.
Those antics, they work for Tyson Fury. But in this case, I mean, it caught up to him. He wasn't Usyk
Definitely.
wasn't falling for it. But when Tyson Fury gets into his rhythm and he's having a good time in there and fun, that's when he's most effective. But there's times when to pull back. I agree with you. Um, that game plan that he had with the jab, that uppercut, in those body shots, he was already pulling away. Hands down, I'm thinking, okay, he's going to pull away. It's going to be a stoppage because Usyk is not going to come back from those body shots. And sure enough, he loaded up and caught him. And in the sport of boxing, you can't blink in the heavyweight division.
Hmm. Definitely. No, I mean, one punch can change the whole thing. I mean, you could be winning the whole fight, and then in the last round, you get caught with a punch that you never expected. So definitely, boxing is very you can never what's the word? You can
You
never
can't take a timeout. You can't take a break. You can't, you know, if you take a round off, you keep your distance. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here. You already know all this stuff.
definitely, yeah, exactly. You got to play it as smart as possible, especially if you're winning. Up on the cards, you want to be safe. If you take the round off, you get your air. Be smart. And yeah, pretty much.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I've had a lot of fighters on here, and you for so young, you're, how a lot of fighters when they get coached, they can't explain exactly what's going on. They know exactly what's going on, but they can't spit it out. They can't explain it. And I like your observations, and it's crystal clear. So, I don't want you taking my job,
Definitely.
but you got a future in broadcasting,
Uh,
bro. I'm just telling you that right now.
I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you, thank you. I'm working
Yeah,
on
you work beside me, not over me. How does that
it.
sound?
Yeah, I got you on the side. I'll be your partner. Yeah.
That sounds good, man. What's going to be your walkout song, and what does that song mean to you?
Man, honestly, I haven't even thought, what my walkout song is. I've just been very just focused on training and the important stuff right now. That could come later. Whatever song it is. Like I said, I still don't know right now. My focus has been training and preparing well for that fight. But I'll be coming up with the song soon, and everybody will see what it'll be fight night.
Well, that's what's up. I don't want to distract you too much, man, but I mean, when do you go get your trunks and you say, this is what I want to wear? These are the colors that I want to wear. Do you do that yourself? Is that you and your team? And who influences you? What influences you once you got your attire ready for fight night?
Yeah. So I usually, from the beginning of camp, I'll start talking with, shout out to my outfit guy, F4 Studios. He's the best in the game. Great work.
Well, let's say that again. I didn't hear him, so that everybody knows who's this guy.
Yeah.
How can we locate him?
Yeah, shout out to you guys can find him on Instagram at F4 Studios. His work is amazing. He's very like different from the other guys. He does stitching and he like on one of my back pieces it took 9 hours.
Oh
He did all
wow.
stitching. So he really yes he loves his craft and he loves what he does and it definitely pays off. But yeah, usually in the beginning of camp I'll start talking with him. We'll have ideas. We'll put ideas together and. Um, as well as my pops who will come together and think of some ideas. So uh, yeah, he's really great. He does awesome work.
Well, speaking of shout outs, is there any sponsors you want to give a shout out to or anybody that you just want to let know, hey, I appreciate you, or thank you, or platform's
Definitely,
yours.
yeah. Thank you to all my sponsors, Bravo, Apish, Wildeboer, um, F4 Studios. You know, like I said, he does an amazing job with all my fight suits. You know, thank you to Marv Nation, and just to everybody who supports me and allows me to do what I do. You know, it wouldn't be possible without their support, definitely. So
Well, I always say, the fighter's voice, the only voice that matters, and it's Marv Nation, the only nation that matters.
exactly. Exactly. Marv Nation is here to change the game and, you know, to give those fighters that don't have that chance or that opportunity, you know, that platform to be able to showcase their skills. You know, I know it's very hard to get, you know, picked up by
Yeah,
some
opportunity.
other promotions, and Marv Nation is here, you know, with open arms to everybody, you know, willing to help showcase their skills and put them out on notice.
Absolutely. Let me give a shout out to my sponsor. Look, you see this thing of water? There's no logo on it. There's no
Yeah,
nothing. This is my
no
sponsor.
logo.
It's the only sponsor I got.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
water. You gotta love what you do. You love what you do.
Exactly.
Some days I'll be saying, one day I'll be saying, this next segment is sponsored by Marv Nation, the proud sponsor of The Fighter's Voice. That's the future right
Hmm.
there.
Definitely, exactly. That's how it is.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
man. I'm hearing good things about you. I'm excited to watch you live, to
Thank you.
make you to see you with that ring walk, and to
Thank you.
just display your talent. And tomorrow's gonna be a big day
Definitely.
for you. You're a professional. You're gonna make weight, and then you're gonna put
Hmm.
it aside. And one thing I want to ask you: what is that night before like? Like after you do all this stuff, and the night
Hmm.
before the fight, what is that dream like when you go to bed? What's it like?
Definitely a lot of resting for sure. You know, all my camps, you know, I always work hard. Like I said, you know, I train hard, and after I hydrate and everything, I feel good. But definitely resting is definitely a big part of
Okay.
how your performance will be. If you don't rest well, you know, your body it won't operate the way you would want it to. So definitely a lot of resting the night before, and you know just going over the game plan. You know, just playing over in your head and just imagining different scenarios for sure, scenarios of the fight. So.
Well, hey, man, I think people need to attend that event. And once again, it's May 25th. Nathan Rodriguez in the main event, 13-0, 8 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And it's on 21815 Pioneer Boulevard, Hawaiian Gardens, California, at the C. Robert Lee Activity Center. Show up live, or stream it. Do what you need to do, but make sure you get there. There's still tickets available. And I've been to Marv Nation shows, and there's no show like a Marv Nation show. And I'm not saying this because we're talking about it. It is what it is, brother. There was one time I've seen Marv Nation turn a show that was a salad. He turned it into a steak right before my eyes.
Mm,
And man, it,
exactly,
it happened. So when I tell people about that, they
exactly.
think no, you had to be there and appreciate it.
It will, and everybody will find out soon. You know,
They will.
Marv Nation is on the come up, and you know, little by little, you know, God willing, we'll be up there with the top promotions and showcase, you know, the the shows to the whole world, and for them to come out and check them out. They definitely are great events. You know, all the fights are always great fights, and you know, Marv Nation is just like on the rise, like I said.
Absolutely. One of the top promoters in the whole area. And if you don't know about them, you're going to know about them. Ladies and gentlemen, I want
Definitely.
to thank our guest, Nathan Rodriguez, who'll be in the main event once again this Saturday, May 25th, Hawaiian Gardens, California, at the Robert Lee Activity Center. Tickets are still available. And the main thing is, Nathan, how can we stay in contact with you? Man, what's your Twitter? What's your Instagram? Let's fill it up today, right now.
Definitely. Yeah, you guys can follow me on Instagram at El Morenito Boxing, and you know, I'll be posting all updates of fights, all my training videos, you know, just a lot of updates about me, so you guys can check me out on there and just see when my next upcoming events will be.
Now,
Definitely.
when this is released, tell everybody your nickname again. I don't want to chop it
My,
up.
yeah, my nickname for those of you that don't know is El Morenito.
El Morenito.
El Morenito.
El Morenito. Now, let me say this. After you watch this program, the first two people that get a hold of me and tell me, Richard, the fighter's voice, how he got that nickname, you get 2 tickets to the event. 2 general tickets to the event. So you can go there and watch it live. The first 2, which means you got to tell me exactly, Richard, this is how he got it. I heard the story, and this is exactly how he got it. The first 2 people, you get 2 general admission tickets to the event.
Exactly. So don't waste your time, and you guys better get to typing so you guys can get those tickets. So it's gonna be a great fight. You guys don't want to miss it, and I'll see you guys there on Saturday.
You heard it from him himself. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of The Fighter's Voice. I want to thank our guest once again, Nathan Rodriguez. I'm The Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. And like Marv Nation Promotions, we're simply knocking out the competition. As always, it's a wrap. Thumbs up for Richie.
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, the special guests, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.